Haha, were you expecting City Under Siege? Well, joke's on you, because actually we are escaping into a sequence. And, hey everyone, so this is Tappers here, and this is a completely unscripted commentary post of Escape Sequence. The challenge, or actually the stage that kind of got me the idea of, hey, let's try to perfect or no-hit everything we can. And to my shock and surprise, it actually ended up being possible. But it took probably a day to kind of route this out. And I can tell you this, while it looks like I'm going for speed, this isn't the fastest that it can be done. I'm almost certain. The biggest issue that you may or may not see is that there's some weapon selection problems. After this stage, or at least as far as stages that have weapon use that are forced, this is the last time I use this specific controller because the left trigger is borked. Because it is overly sensitive, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to be using that again. Anyway, back to this stage. You might remember my playthrough where I wasn't exactly the biggest fan of this stage due to Noble Nickel shenanigans and other design choices. When I talk about these stages during these videos in post, I will make every attempt I can to avoid talking about Noble Nickels because some will have me ranting for a good long while, and others it's just like it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters at this point is the stage itself. I'm not going to count Noble Nickels because if I did, I'd be talking about depth that is lacking, and I don't want to go into that level. So this part right here, all the other areas of this stage are relatively tame until you get to the Soccer Garden section. You might be thinking, how in the world are you supposed to get past this? Well, if you properly time getting past the penguins. Also, I'm playing as MaGMML2 because he is the hero of the day and of every hour. Had to be really careful there because those explosions can spawn underneath you and you could probably jump into that shrapnel blast and everything. But that area, the first half of the Soccer Garden, was probably the hardest section in the entire game, and yet during recording attempts I don't think I ever failed. At least I don't think I did. Now, if I want to go for speed, I could attempt to try to go through this with Soccer Garden, but these Rambacoons, I assume that's what they're called, they are no end of a hassle, and I don't want them all spawning in at once, dropping their missiles. So, I mean, I could always try this again with the intention of using Soccer Garden through the whole thing, but Rush Jet is the safest option imaginable because you just fly up high and take out the three that are awaiting you. After this, I would say everything about the stage is relatively simple. I almost died because I didn't hit that super arrow right there for safety. There are certain areas I take safe because, not necessarily because my controller's all screwed up and everything, but because, as you know, the gimmick is that you move super fast, Sonic Rush style, and yeah, there are certain parts I could have optimized a lot better, but will I return to getting a better time? Probably. But this is kind of the first one. Well, actually, I did redo this because I made a lot of mistakes earlier. Like, I lost a lot of time there because the trigger put me on a weapon that I didn't want. I didn't want Super Arrow. But, yeah. Now, there is one last scary part, even though it should be automatic. Coming up, there is a vertical ladder sequence where if you just hold up, you'll dodge everything. However, using the wheel cutter up that shaft will probably save you, I don't know, several seconds. However, I may or may not show a failed attempt where you'll see it here in like a few seconds. There are a bunch of blader enemies that, for whatever reason in this game, they move so much faster than they do in the original, and I had one snipe me before I got to the screen transition. And that kind of sucked because it was a pretty good attempt, all things considered, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to skip everything and have all the lag in the world pretty much stop us for a few seconds. But as far as I know, I might be the only one to have a no-hit, and I'm not even going to be here to brag, but it's like, take your time, you can easily clear this. If you're trying to go for speed, this is a pretty difficult stage, especially the Sakugarn section. Tune in next time for SMP3, the not-so-good version of it.